Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video, we're going to talk start collecting Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and today we're going to take a look at the Lumineth Realm Lords and their Vanguard box set. Now in this video, we're going to take a look at how to build a Lumineth Realm Lords force using this Vanguard box set for the current season in Andtor for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. We'll talk through all the different units that come inside this particular box set, looking at what we can build them as, how they perform on the tabletop, and what their general role is as well. We're then going to take a look at a couple of other units we can use to expand upon this initial purchase, and then finally finish off the video with a little sample army list of 1,000 points for you to use, hopefully as some inspiration for starting your own Lumineth Realm Lords army for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. And so, to begin with, first of all, this box set is led by a Sigmar Catalar. This is the cloaked figure you can see at the front of the picture with the nice sheer cool over their head. Now, the Sigmar Catalar has a casting potential of a 1 Unbind, 1 Dispel, and 1 Cast per turn. It's got the ability Darkness of the Soul, where it's a spell, and its casting value is 7, range of 18. If successfully cast, you pick an enemy unit within range and roll 2d6 each time that unit ever wishes to make a move, run, retreat, charge, shoot, or fight. And you make that roll before they move, and if that roll is greater than the unit's bravery characteristic, they just simply can't perform that action. Deep Thinkers as well allows you to once per battle in your hero phase. When this unit attempts to cast its first spell, it is automatically cast with a casting roll of 9+, that cannot be modified, though it can be unbound. Now, Absorb Despair is also another cool ability you get, where once per phase, if a friendly unit uses Eighth Quartz Reserve while within 18 inch of this model, of any friendly models with this ability as well. If you do so, you subtract 1 from the unit's bravery characteristic. Instead, you pick an enemy unit within 18 inch of this unit and you subtract 1 from their bravery characteristic instead. So you can effectively put the benefits of using Aether Quartz to good use, but the negatives of using Aether Quartz you can force upon your opponent. Now, next we have 10 Vanari Aurelin Wardens. These are a battle line unit at all times for the Lumineth Realm Lords. 4+ save, 1 wound each, bravery, and move of 6. Now, you've got the Warden's Pike, which gives you 2 attacks at 3s to hit, 4s to wound, no rend, and damage 1. And the cool thing about the Vanari Aurelin Wardens, and indeed many of the different Lumineth Realm Lords units, is the champion of this unit is actually a wizard. So the High Warden of this unit will be a wizard so long as you've got 5 or more models within this unit, and they can attempt to cast and unbind 1 spell in each hero phase. Sun Metal Weapons is something you'll see as a common thing amongst a variety of different Lumineth Realm Lords units, and what this does is each time you roll a 6 to hit, a mortal wound will be inflicted on the opponent and the attack sequence will end. Wall of Blades means if this target unit made a charge move in this turn, you can add 1 to wound rolls for attacks made with this unit's Warden Pikes and improve the rend characteristic of their weapons by 1, which is really cool. So if your unit is charged, they get a nice little benefit, as you would expect from someone with pikes. They've got Shining Company as well, which is another common ability amongst a variety of different Lumineth Realm Lord units, where you subtract 1 from hit rolls so long as the unit is pretty much touching each other in a proper formation. And then Power of Haish is a spell where they can up the ability of their mortal wounds from the Sun Metal Weapons to a 5+ to hit, rather than just the 6+. Now, Vanari Aurelin Sentinels, they have a cool thing where they can become battle line based on how many units of Wardens you're taking. For every unit of Wardens, another unit of Vanari Sentinels can be taken as battle line as well, which is really cool. Sentinels do have some metal weapons, but these work at range, and so they are going to have their Aurelin bows, which is really cool. And they've got the nice sun metal weapons on their ranged attacks, so they can do some mortal wounds. They have Shining Company, same as the Wardens. They also have the Power of Haish spell on their champion, which also becomes a wizard in the same manner, and stays a wizard so long as it's got more than 5 models in its unit, same as the Wardens. You then also have the many-stringed weapon, where you can choose one of 2 different firing profiles. You've got the aimed or the lofted profile. You'll get some rend if you go for the aimed, but this is a shorter range. The lofted, on the other hand, has a longer range, but you do lose that rend there, and you are a 4+ to hit rather than a 3+. Lastly, you have the Scryhawk Lantern. This will add 6 inch to the range of the unit's characteristic of its ranged weapons of the lofted shots, so long as it's within 12 inch of any other friendly Aurelin Sentinels or Starshard Ballistas, which is really nice. Now, the last unit we get inside this box set are the Venari Blade Lords. Venari Blade Lords are really cool in that they have 2 wounds each and a 4+ save, but they are going to have the Guardians rule, where effectively if there's scenario units around them, they can take wounds for those scenario units and protect them. Swordmasters is each time this unit fights, you can choose to either use their Perfect Strike or Flurry of Blows power, but for all attacks it makes with Sun Metal weapons. Now, you do not use the attack sequence per Perfect Strike, instead you roll 1 dice, and on a 2+, the target unit will suffer a mortal wound. Add 1 to the attacks characteristic for the Flurries of Blows if there is 5 to 9 models in the target unit, or add 2 if there is 10 or more. They have Sun Metal weapons, same like the rest of the unit, and Shining Company in there as well, so they can definitely put out a decent amount of hurt, but really their big role is protecting your heroes. Today's video is brought to you by Gap Games, a fantastic retailer in Australia for a variety of different miniature war games. If you'd like to help support the channel, we have an affiliate link where by clicking on and purchasing, you'll help support the channel, but you'll also help support Gap Games, which is a fantastic servant to the community. Now, of course, in Andtor, where do we look next but some of the other wizards we have access to for the Lumineth Realm Lords? And the first of these that I want to talk about is probably, I think, one of the best wizards we get access to, and that is the Cenari Enlightener. Now, this is a 2-cast and 2-unbind wizard, which is really good. Though the Lumineth do have a lot of wizards, they don't have a lot of generic 2-cast and 2-unbinds. Now, you've got the Deep Thinker's rule, same as all Cenari, so if you, once per battle in your hero phase, when this unit attempts to cast its first spell for the phase, you can cast it on a 9, an auto cast there, but it can be unbound like normal. Twin Tether is the spell this model will get. What this does is you pick an enemy unit within range, invisible to the caster, and until your next hero phase, each time a wound or mortal wound is allocated to the caster, your opponent must allocate a wound to the enemy unit. So this can have some really cool things if your models, on their last wound, last legs, get this spell off and literally just run in to your opponent because it is the wound allocated. You don't allocate wounds. And so it could be a really nice little way to potentially hurt units. Now, if you got the Rune of Enthala as well, where once per turn, if this unit successfully casts a spell from the Lore of Haish and the spell is not unbound, you can roll a dice after the effect has been resolved, and on a 3+, you can immediately resolve the effect of the same spell again, which is a pretty cool little ability. Now, we then have the Cenari Loreseeker, another one of, I think, my favourite wizards to take for this particular faction. The Loreseeker here is a 1-cast and 1-unbind, but it's got the Lone Agent rule. You add 1 to save rolls for this target unit that is more than 9-inch from all other friendly units. In addition, instead of setting this up on the battlefield, you can set it to one side and say it will be set up as a Lone Agent. If you do so at the end of deployment, before determining control of objectives, you must set it up all friendly Lone Agent reserve units on the battlefield more than 3-inch from all enemy units and not in your territory. If you set up a friendly Lone Agent reserve within 6-inch of an objective that is not contested by enemy units, that Lone Agent reserve counts as 10 models for the purposes of contesting that objective. We then have Deep Thinkers, same as all the rest. Now, another wizard to consider is actually one of the ones that is not a Cenari one, and this is the Venari Lord Regent. I really like this model. You've got 6 wounds, 3+ save. You've also got a much better profile in combat. You've got 5 attacks, 2s to hit, 3s to wound, rend 1, damage 2 here. You're a 1-cast and 1-unbind wizard. You've got Sun Metal weapons, same as all the different Venari units we've talked about, and you've got Greater Power of Haish, which is the same sort of spell, allowing you to do your mortal wounds with Sun Metal weapons on a 5+ rather than 6+, but this instead allows you to target D3 units, because it can free up your other Venari units to do other things. Now, Purest Eighth Quartz as well, you subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks that target this unit and add 1 to casting roll when you attempt to cast the Greater Power of Haish. If this unit uses its last Eighth Quartz reserve though, this ability will disappear. Lastly, let's talk about the last Venari unit we haven't got on the units here, and that is the Venari Dawn Riders, a cavalry unit that is super fast. Move 14, 2 wounds each and a 4+ save. They are a wizard, or at least their champion is, so long as you've got 3 models in the unit. And then you've got the Deathly Furies, where the unit actually gets better and gets more attacks depending on how small the opposing unit is. If your opponent is a 1 or 2 wound model, you get to add +1 attack, but you actually get to add +2 attacks if you are fighting a 1 wound unit. Lance of the Dawn allow you to add 1 to your wound rolls for attacks when you're charging, and you also improve your rend by 1. You've then got Shining Company, Sun Metal, and Power of Haish, same as all the other different Venari units we've talked about already. And so here we have our sample army list for the Lumineth Realm Lords. Now we've gone for the sub-faction of Zytrek. This just gives us some bonus to our casting ability, so a really solid one to pick in the current season. Now grand strategy wise, we've gone for the Overshadowed. When the battle ends, you complete this grand strategy if all enemy battle line units from your opponent's army that started on the table are destroyed, and if there is at least one friendly battle line unit from your starting army on the battlefield still. So this gives you a really good target and gives you something that you need to protect, especially with the fact you've got, some shooting units at the back of the table. This could be something that is quite easily done. Now, we then have for our leader, we've got a Scenarii Cathalar with the Silver Wand, which allows them to cast an extra spell. And we've gone for the spell Total Eclipse, which is really, really powerful. This just allows you to force your opponent to have to spend 2 command points for every command they wish to issue. Now, we then have the Scenarii Enlightener, who will be our general, and the command trait we've gone for is going to be Eye of the Blizzard. What this does is allows us to roll at the top of every turn that this model's on the table, and on 5+, we gain an extra primal magic dice. We've then gone for the spell Protection of Haish, which is a nice sort of area bubble of a mortal wound save on a ward save. Now, we've then got Scenarii Loreseeker, who's got the spell Merciless Blizzard. I really like combining these two things because I think the Scenarii Loreseeker here can make great use of the Merciless Blizzard up nice and close. It's a 12-inch range, but it also means you can do some really powerful mortal wound damage. Battle line wise, we have 10 Venari Orlin Wardens who have gone for taking Ethereal Blessings as their second spell. This will allow them to potentially have their save completely unrenderable, but also they can't receive benefits to it as well while that spell is in effect. We then have our Sentinels who've got Speed of Haish, which I think is really nice on a unit that potentially may be sitting backboard. If we need them to come up late in the game, being able to double their move is nice. Venari Blade Lords will then be in there, and then we've got the Venari Dawn Riders as well as our last unit, and they've got Speed of Haish as well. The reason we've got that is this turns them into a 28-inch moving unit, which is just incredibly powerful to have on the tabletop. Battalion wise, we've gone for Andtorian Acolytes. This is containing all 3 of our wizard characters. So long as 2 of them are on the table at the start of a turn, we can roll a dice, and on 3+, we will get another primal magic dice. If you've got some ideas on how to start your Lumineth Realm Lord force with the Vanguard box set for Andtor, let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And so, thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content, and also drop a comment down below letting us know what you thought about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our fun little community, we have a Discord server which is linked down in the video's description, and also linked down in the video's description are the best ways to help support the channel, either by Patreon or YouTube members, or by grabbing yourself some merch from our Teespring store as well. All of those are linked down in the video's description, and a special thank you to our YouTube members and patrons. We'd like to give you all a shout out, so thank you to our YouTube members John Castle, Disco, James Tillman, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, Ariana Edwards, Broken Chef, the Johnny84, Lock Lorick, Ronya, Green Roots Gaming, and our patrons Wasarin, Kenny Lyle, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Cure Dynamic, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Benjamin Swallows, Redman, Iron Grinch, Colorblind Magic, Grimscold, and Andy C. Thank you all once again, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.